He's stressed out, man. He's shaking in the booth. He got pretty whooped by DRG in that previous match. Like, DRG kind of owned him, despite the fact that he had a solid build, that he hid so well. DRG just took him apart bit by bit. And of course, now we're going into the match with Super here. Super's playing his second PVT, so he's prepared for this matchup, which is part of the reason I feel like they may have picked him here. Because Super's a really good PvP player, so had they chosen Zest instead, he would have been okay. But in the matchup against Terran, he's already prepared. Yeah, it works for 2 out of the 3 possible matchups here, so I also agree with that kind of pick. I mean, KT doesn't have a Zerg player to pick from, really. The map is Yeonsu. Our final map is a 2-player map. Let's find out whether it's KT or MVP who's going to take this series. All right, that was a problem. But MVP, they've already defeated the sister team of KT Rolster. They beat SKT. People said it was a miracle. Can they make 2 miracles happen? If Super takes out FlaSh here, MVP will take the win. The players are in the lobby, ready to go. The winner of this final map, Yeonsu, will be the winner of this team match. Let's find out who it's going to be right now here at the SPL. And to start it off, down here in the bottom left, in the red for KT Rolster, the Terran player. He's also known as God. It's FlaSh. I was a bit early, but it's still FlaSh. Doesn't change the player. And his opponent to the top right in the teal for MVP. It's Super, formerly known as Vampire. He's improved a lot as a player, has grown quite a bit. Yeah, and he has experience in ace matches before. It's clear that MVP trusts him as an ace match player, below DRG, or even near the same level, depending on who they're expecting to play. I liked your point about how he's very good against both Protoss and Terran, and basically they're not going to send out a Zerg here, so why not Super? It kind of just makes sense. Right. DRG, I think, would have a lot of trouble against Zest. Especially because he wasn't preparing for that matchup. Clearly did very well against Terran. And that may be part of the reason why, there's part of the reason why Super's not here, but FlaSh is probably thinking, I know how to deal with DRG. I prepared for him, so if it is him, I'm okay with that. And if I play another matchup, that's also fine. I have so much experience. I'm not going to get nervous here. FlaSh trains so much. He grinds so much that for him, he's like, yeah, I prepared for one matchup, but doesn't mean I can just play. It doesn't mean I can't play just another game. So he checks here for proxies, and he's going to be doing as standard as it gets, a Reaper expand here. Yep. We don't see much different out of FlaSh. Many different matchups did a similar build against Zerg, against Stormgoo earlier. See Super setting up a nice wall back there, and possibly corner a Reaper if it comes to it later on. Yeah. And there's that Reaper. There he is. We found him. The SCV is going to come over here. Scout sees the Zealot is going to be made, and with the Zealot making, probably not going to try to eBay block here, otherwise he would consider it. Probe goes down here. And he could still cancel the Zealot, actually. Yep, and he cancels it because he knows the SCV is not there to block. But at the same exact time, a CC goes down, command center. So we're going to have both players expanding at the exact same time. This is a really cool opening for Super. I like it a lot, just because it's pretty standard, but just to see how last second he cancels and how FlaSh, it's tough for him to actually make the choice to eBay block while the Zealot is being made. And Reaper's going to come in here. Mothership Core is already ready, but what he identifies here is the 3 pylons. Where are they exactly? And where do I need to scan later? Where do I need to come in with my Reaper later to find out what you're doing? Yeah. And we have a follow-up with a couple more barracks here. So FlaSh's going to get a little bit aggressive here. Want to see if maybe an eBay goes down. Maybe go for a +1 timing. Yeah, it could be a good choice. We've seen this a lot. We've seen this already today. I wonder if we're going to see Twilight Council. This is the best map for Blink in the pool by far. But it looks like it's going to be a Stargate instead. There it is. Reaper wants to see this. He's coming at the exact timing where tech would be dropped. That wall going to make it a lot harder for him to scout. And the Mothership Core is not here in time to stop him. So unfortunately, he will see this. Stalker's out of position as well. So all he has to do is click on that. He knows Reaper should escape here.
Yep. That sneaky Reaper, man. Terran's just having the ability to get a Reaper into your base and see all the tech. So useful. So he knows the Stargate's on the way. Should probably expect Oracles.
Yeah, Oracle's definitely the most likely choice. Phoenixes here would be a bit weird. Void Rays would be like, is that Super in the booth or is that Billy?
Or is that Wolf?
Is that Wolf in the booth?
Is that Wolf in the booth? Who's casting with me?
I've like got a mic strapped to my head. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing.
You're like somehow casting what FlaSh is doing in his base. I'm like, what?
I'm like, see how I knew exactly when he was going to cancel Zealot? That was me. I mean, eBay actually goes up here for FlaSh. And with this, he's going to not only be able to set up turrets for the Oracle, which he's already scouted, but he will be able to get a quick +1 out. So I'm liking FlaSh's position here so far. He's got the Marines in position. Going to come over here as well, just to scout once more. How much are you committing to this? Have you transitioned into a robotics follow-up or a Twilight Council follow-up? And will he get to see this? Yes, he will.
Yep. Sees it, clicks it, knows exactly. He's actually going to escape into further on in the base and scout that nothing much has changed. May even shoot on some of these probes. FlaSh knows everything.
Yeah, he even knows there's not a second Oracle or even a Phoenix follow-up here. That is cool. That is like, that's meta, man. He's like, you're going to fly away in this direction against my Marines possibly, and I'm going to catch you with that turret. He's taken so much damage already. Now let's see if he actually flies into that turret. Let's see if he does. It's almost done.
He's heading that way.
Oh my god, so close.
Just barely does it.
But he even starts a third CC here.
Yep.
And that turret's going to protect him while he's building it. Probably, depending on where the SCV is actually when the Oracle comes around. If it's at the top part, he'd probably still kill it.
Yeah. And I like this a lot. I like this fast expand. He knows that Super committed a little bit to the air units. He's not going to have much of a very strong push coming all too soon. So he can go ahead and drop that a bit earlier.
I was just really struggling to find a sweet spot here with FlaSh's coverage with those Marines he has there. And also the lack of shields on the Oracle. Plus he's at low hit points already. He's a little bit reluctant to commit. As it is back at home, he's getting double upgrades. He's getting the Colossus tech out first. And he's continuing pro production. So it looks like he wants to ease his way into a third base. But against the fast third of FlaSh, he's going to have to react to this. He gets one kill. That's all he's been able to accomplish here with so much commitment to this tech. Oh, he's going to try to intercept it with his Marines here.
And he could. It seems like the Oracle is flying that way. He's got to be careful. There's the stim. And there it is. Dead Oracle.
Look at that reaction on the face of Super. That's just, that's when you know you're up against FlaSh, is he just knows every little inch of the map, and he knows the pathways. That's part of the reason why he dropped that turret over there. I'm just like in awe with FlaSh's play in this game so far, but you know, despite the Oracle not doing damage, Super's play here is pretty solid as well. He's transitioning pretty comfortably here into now getting the Twilight Council up. FlaSh isn't massively ahead by any means because his tech is much behind the tech of Super.
Yeah, that's the thing here. He got an earlier third. He has a better economy, definitely. He has the mules. He has the 3 orbitals. You know, Super has more probes, but that's to be expected with the chrono boost. But like you said, he's behind on that tech. He's just now getting the medevacs out.
And Super still hasn't actually physically seen the third base. He may have seen, I think there was one SCV in the observer's vision, but that makes it looks like to him that it's just one SCV going over to make the command center possibly. So now he's going to go verify. But he really is very late in finding out about this CC. Good position here on this observer to spot any attacks. And he's already got double starport reactor up here, so he can make any number of Vikings that he really would like.
Yeah, we're seeing a bunch more gateways go down here, as well as Blink. Opting to go for that Blink a little bit earlier on will be good for shutting down some medevacs, as well as the Vikings that are coming out.
Upgrades here are going to be massively ahead for Super. By the time 1-1 is done for FlaSh, he's going to have 2-2. The Blink upgrade, you know, first means he's not going to have as strong of a ground presence with his Zealots, but like what you were mentioning, he's going to be able to shut down drops with this, which is all he really needs when he has Colossi on the map. He doesn't really have that many Zealots.
No. We see for FlaSh, he was making 4 Vikings at a time, so he is not playing around with this at all. He knows there's going to be a bunch of Colossi on the map. He knows he has to deal with that.
This is oftentimes how we've seen FlaSh play. When he finds the Colossus count of his opponent, he's not afraid to heavily commit the Vikings early. And then even if he overcommits, he's able to harass his opponent, pressure them enough to transition out of it. And you're always going to want a lot of Vikings in your composition because the Protoss is going to keep switching between Colossi and Storm. So if you have a lot of extra Vikings, as long as you don't lose them, they're going to be useful later when your opponent switches out of Storm.
Yeah, and he's about to have 8 here. So this is going to be more than enough to deal with those 3 Colossi coming across the map, as long as he gets a good spread on his units. Super, he saw what he had to see with his Oracle Observer, and now he's going to back off.
Yeah, I mean, the army supply here is, obviously slightly in favor of FlaSh, actually more than slightly, but the upgrades and the composition are something that Super could say he's ahead in, except the Vikings now. With the Colossus count that he has, the Vikings are getting to be a bit too much for him to handle. And he doesn't have Storm yet. He doesn't even have Charge yet. This is a great window for FlaSh to come in here and force a cancel on this base, and I think he's going to do just that. He scans here. He sees the composition. He sees the Zealots are at the back. Pulls back his Marines
now, and the Stalkers blink, but there's honestly not that many Stalkers. A lot more Zealots on the ground. He picks off 1 Colossus basically for free. Yeah. And that's 1 extremely valuable Colossus right now.
Yeah, and he's going to lose, I think, both of the remaining ones here. FlaSh realizes there's no charge here. Splits his army beautifully here. Does commit to the engagement. Starts to take out those Colossi. Now that they're gone, there's no AoE, and there's not enough here. There's too many Marauders on the ground. With the 2-2 upgrades, though, it looks like he may push this back. He's got those Immortals to help out as well. And with all those Vikings, it comes a lack of medevacs.
A lack of medevacs, indeed. Just 2 left over now, and a bunch of super heavily upgraded Immortals and Stalkers blinking across the map. Picks off an extra Viking, and we were looking at that matchup, and we were seeing the numbers, and we were like, it looks good for FlaSh, but then it's all about those upgrades. The upgrades are so strong, keeping Super's army alive.
And now the upgrades become even more valuable because he's going to go into 3-3, as has already started. In fact, going shields first, so his Archons get the better part of things, and I really like that. We see this very rarely, but it's also good for air units later on. It's good for your buildings. It's just a useful upgrade to have. It's committed more universally than any other Protoss upgrade. So he's actually trying to catch these drops. So there's a ground army to support them. This is a little bit awkward between these two, dancing.
Yeah, just dancing the units back and forth, trying to maybe pick off whatever they can. Ghost Academy goes down. FlaSh is definitely want those ghosts for the Archons that are going to come out here. Possible Storms as well. He's trying to get his own upgrades up now 2-2, but he's still way behind.
Nice pickoffs here. FlaSh traded decently against the Protoss army earlier, killing all those Colossi, but he didn't kill the third base. And that tech, those upgrades, that's what's really important. Interestingly enough, he's not really switching to Storm. He's actually continuing to produce Colossi here, keeping his opponent guessing while adding the Archons. The armor that he gets for the Colossi, as well as the shields, are going to be applied twice to every single Viking shot, because Vikings do fire twice. Their damage gets split in 2. So armor is really important. A few Stalkers thrown away here.
Yeah.
But I like this because it's a bit sneaky. I'm not sure FlaSh is going to realize this.
I'm not sure if he is either. Super taking a 4th base now. He feels confident to do this. FlaSh as well, all the way in the bottom right corner of the map. Feels very comfortable to protect that down there. And FlaSh wants to come over here and start doing some more damage.
He's got a pretty dominant position on the map, so taking that 4th base for him is pretty reasonable. On the other hand, the position for the 4th base of Super is tough for FlaSh to assault. 12 Vikings versus 3 Colossi. Stalker count pretty healthy at 10, and he's got 3 Archons to help support. It's all about the splitting here. +3 armor is done. The shields are done as well. FlaSh is really going to commit down this ramp. Would be pretty risky. He needs those EMPs to hit. Money EMPs on those Archons and some of the Zealots. Turns to Colossus to actually fight here. And a great position. Now FlaSh is a little bit trapped up on the top of the ramp. And a flank here is good for Super, doing so much damage. The Colossi are gone, but Zealots and Archons with superior upgrades. Uh-oh, FlaSh.
Uh-oh, indeed. He's going to have to fly away, and so many Zealots were just warped in there. Those Vikings useless after the Colossi go down. They're just flying around. They're going to try to drop in here and probably try to harass.
Oh, he's drawing the forces away here while he's going to go for a big drop at the third base. It looks like we may have possibly an elimination race here, as the army of Super is completely out of position to defend this third. But he's got a countless amount of Zealots over here coming through, and they're going to be kited here. This is not a bad spot for FlaSh. A lot of Immortals here, on the other hand, to help out. And FlaSh decides to turn around first.
Yeah, he's going to turn around, and honestly, this Protoss army, unless it joins with those 2 Archons and a couple more Zealots, it's not too strong. If they get pincered here with a bunch of these SUVs, they might actually go down. Just got to be careful. Still has the advantage in upgrades. You still have to remember that. Shield's very, very strong on those Archons right now.
This has been such a great game so far. FlaSh trying to equalize the upgrade. It's going to take him a little bit longer. He's going to have +3. I don't believe Super has that. He only has the shields upgrade. That Archon looks like it's going to go down here. But there's so many Immortals in the mix. That one Colossus at the back, and the charge cells coming in from the right side as well. Does FlaSh have enough to survive here? It looks like the answer may very well be no. He's trying to kite his way through here, but there's too much range damage at the back. He's got so many medevacs, but what's underneath them is falling very, very quickly.
There's just not much under these medevacs. Like you said, the blink forward from the Stalkers, so many Archons as well. The Immortals in the back doing so much damage.
GG! MVP takes down 2 Korean telecom companies, one after the other. They beat an SKT, they beat KT, and MVP is suddenly looking like a main contender here in round 2. Putting on the heat suddenly. This is the kind of play I was looking forward to in round 2, to see which teams have been shifting their gears, which teams have been preparing the best and switching based on what happened in round number 1. And MVP has proven they are practicing really, really hard right now.
Oh my God. Wolf. Super, he's able to come out here. FlaSh goes down twice in one day. The king hasn't been dethroned, but there was a rebellion.
There was a rebellion, man, and I have to say, I mean, the play that we saw there from Super was just one step ahead of FlaSh at every turn.